Hello and welcome to the EduCamp project. My name is Marlene Mader and I'm now presenting to you a presentation on global education and global learning that was held by Silvia Miranda Acquira from the Welthaus Graz during our training module on education for sustainable development at the University of Graz. Welthaus Graz is an NGO that focuses on educational projects and also development projects. So global education can be seen as a pedagogic answer, pedagogic concepts to the challenges we face in interacting in a globalized world. And there are four dimensions of this globalized world: the dimension of objectives, which includes, for instance, financial crisis or environmental threats and risks we face at the moment. It's about the dimension of space. So it's this tension between global, local, between near and far. It's the dimension of time. So when we think about tradition and modernity, and it's the social aspect. When we think about our lifestyles are getting more and more heterogeneous, how societies live together, this is meant with the social dimension. So global education can bring an opportunity and can bring the competences you need to share your own point of view and role within a global interconnected society. It's about to understand and discuss complex relationships of social, ecological, political and economic issues. And it can provide you the opportunities and competences you need to derive new ways of thinking and acting for a more sustainable and globalized world we live in. Global education addresses knowledge, competences and attitudes. So the knowledge includes key issues of today's world, for instance inequalities, but also sustainable development, human rights issues, migration, intercultural aspects that all deal with the knowledge we need for global education. Then the competences, the ability to give and receive criticism, to communicate, communicative competences, the resolution of conflicts without violence, capacity and ability for teamwork, ability to cooperate, the ability for reflection, and so on. And the attitudes, for instance, solidarity, commitment, self-confidence, empathy, respect, and also the sense of responsibility. Characteristics of global education is, on the one hand, the pedagogic concepts they have. It's a very integrative concept dealing with development, peace, human rights, intercultural aspects and also environmental education. Global education is context and time bound, so at the center is the living environment and the experience of the learners, and it's also an developing and ongoing pedagogy. The challenges are, of course, the complexity of topics we have, also in some points the lack of knowledge and that we deal with uncertainties. We need an interdisciplinary approach and a methodological diversity and the learning environment. What are now definitions of global learning and global education? Global learning is the attempt to react adequately to the challenges of globalization and the rise of complexity in our world. And global education is education that opens people's eyes and minds to the realities of the world we are facing and awakens them to bring about a world of greater justice, equity and human rights for all. So that we really then also have the knowledge and competences to take action for a more just and equitable world. What's now the resume of global education? It's about seeing beyond one's own nose and connecting global topics with his or her life world. Sylvia then also played a game with the participants of our training module, which I also like to present to you now. It was a very interactive workshop called the World Game. And the aim of the World Game is to develop a common picture of our world, also to reflect our personal view of the distribution, especially of population and wealth and these interlinkages, and hence to point out also unfair economic processes. The methodology is that the number of participants can be 5 and more. It takes about 20 minutes. And you need following materials. You need one world map. You need 100 tokens that represent 100% of the world population. And you need 100 chips that represent 100% of the world income, the GDP. So how do you play this game? First, the players, they present one group, so they don't have to be divided. They have the task to distribute the 100 tokens, which is the world population, on the different continents. And then the tokens are counted, and the game master compares the result with the correct distribution. And then you do it correctly. And then the players, they have the task to distribute the 100 chips, which means the world income. And again, you compare these results with the correct distribution, then have a feedback round and reflection how, what were the challenges and how did they see the world, the distribution of population and income in the world. So this chart here from 2011 gives you the correct data, so for all the continents, and you can see the population, the tokens you need, and also the GDP, the world income. And what were the results when we played the game with the Egyptian partners at the University of Graz? So for instance, according to the population, too many tokens especially were in Africa and North America, too few in Asia. On the last slide we saw 60% of the world population lives in Asia. So we don't assume that it's really that much. According to the GDP, to the wealth, too few chips were in Africa, North America, also too many in Asia again. And the resume of the participants were that it's really a great game to reflect your own personal view of the world and also raise awareness about global distribution of population and wealth. And especially you can easily play it with students and see it as a basis for raising questions of global education, of global relevance and inequalities in the world and so on. So this was the short presentation on global education and the World Game. And at this point I also like to thank Sylvia from the Welthaus in Graz that they presented, or that they did this great workshop with our partners from Egypt at the University of Graz. Thank you.